Hello there. All right, so today I have a quote that I'm going to do quickly, and then I actually did the job, so I'll go ahead and input my cost for the job, and you guys can just follow along as I do that, and hopefully it is interesting in some form or another. Okay, so I'm on my estimate template here, and I need a new sheet. So I'm going to go to my clean template, and I am going to click the plus button here. It's going to add a new sheet. I'm going to give it a name. This is gable, and it's a garage man door. That a man door differentiates the door a man walks through versus the door, the garage door that the cars go into. So I'm going to go ahead and put that over here. There we go. Then I'll click up here in the upper left hand corner. I will Control C. I'll come over here. I will Control V. Oh good. Google Sheets was messing up a lot of the copy and paste today, so this one's looking a bit better. All right. I'm going to change this hourly rate to 80. I usually don't give my hourly rate, but on this one I will. Then over here we've got 50 and 20. We'll leave that alone for now. And that's down here as well, 50 and 20. So the original quote is to replace garage man door. This stuff. Okay, gable 123 E Street. Then you can fill all that stuff out here. All right. So I will show you what I've got here. All right, so this is the door that goes into the garage, and she wanted this to be replaced with a glass door so there would be more light in the garage. And let's see, here's a picture of it from the inside. All right, so that's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and bust out this quote real quick, since I already did it on my sheet that I used to run my business. I'll just kind of copy it over here. Here's what it looks like. All right, so here's the items that I put in my estimate: purchasing, procurement, delivery, estimating, time for estimating, demo the old door, install the new door, reinstall the interior trim, paint the door, reinstall the old lock set, rough opening modification allowance, because I figured I'd probably have to do something to that rough opening, and then a dump run, and then we've got some time for setup, cleanup, and takedown. Mobilization, as it's called. Control C. And then here's how much time I figured for each of that. Purchasing, procurement, and delivery. I figured 1 hour. Estimating, I gave a half hour. I'd probably spent a little more time, but I just like to charge something for estimating. Demo old door, I figured a half hour. Install new door, figured an hour and a half. Reinstall the trim, half an hour. Paint the door, 3/4 of an hour. Reinstall the old lock set, half an hour. Rough opening allowance. Dump run, 3/4 of an hour. Throw in half an hour for some setup cleanup and takedown. And I'll just paste in my materials. Oops, I'm going to undo that. Didn't want to grab the heading. There we go. All right, so the door, I went ahead and sourced. It took a little while to find the door that she wanted. She wanted the one that was $200 to $300, full light, you know, exterior, left-hand in-swing. So I had to just confirm all of these details, do a little bit of research, and we landed on that one. And $310 is what I figured for the cost, which would be like $281 plus tax. Now you can also account for the tax down here. So like your material, your overhead on your material, if you want to just use the base numbers that you get when you're estimating, like 281, but you want to account for, say, that 8% tax, sales tax, or whatever it is that you have, you can add that into this number here. In this case, I've just kind of figured tax into the total price and then had a markup on that. So anyway, so 310, we got shims, caulk, something for the threshold, a quart of paint, some insulation, some fasteners, a dump fee, and a lock set selected by the homeowner. And here's a lock set that we got. All right. All right, so we've got a total job cost here. Add up our labor and material, put on our markups, and we've got $1,338. I offered that to the customer, and she wanted to go ahead and move forward with it. So we went ahead and did the job, and I will go ahead and do my actual job costs up here, and we'll see how we did. All right, so material costs. I'm going to go to my Home Depot account and just kind of pick out the materials that I purchased. I'm doing that on a different screen here. Well, the door came from Lowe's. Okay. So the door came from Lowe's. It was $281 plus tax, be about $302.08. $302.08. That was the door. I'm just going to pick out a couple other things that I got from Home Depot. Oh, I also got the lock set from Lowe's. And that was $29.88. It's $32.13. right. All right, I picked up some white silicone. That was $9.66. Also picked up some clear silicone. Same price. Picked up some galvanized finish nails. That was $6.43. And I picked up some 3-inch drywall screws. That's $7.08. I picked up a quart of paint. That was $20.41. Okay. Now I'm going to pop into the pictures here because I had a change order on this job. So let me find a picture here. Here we go. So after getting the old door out, and I kind of saw this ahead of time, just didn't quite know, at the time of initially looking at the job what this was going to entail. But essentially, at some point, someone had floated a new slab of concrete on that back patio, and recess, just poured right around the door jamb and whatnot. So the door jamb was inset in the concrete, a bit over an inch and a quarter-ish. And so what essentially that did is, if I wanted to lay the new pre-hung door here on the slab, I was going to be short up on the header. And I did want to lay the new door right flat on this slab because it's got the built-in threshold. I wanted it to be at the level of the concrete slab here and not underneath it, So to do that, I had to modify the header a bit, about half an inch, in order to give me enough room to put that pre-hung door in. So I didn't quote this originally because I didn't know what was going to happen exactly. And so once I got it out, I looked at it and I decided, yep, I'm going to need to fill this, basically. We're going to need to grind off some of this. There was a bit of a bump here that bumped up into this area on each side. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to have to grind it down. We're going to have to fill and patch this. I'm going to have to go get some more materials. And I came up with a number for $140 material and labor to do this extra work. And so we went ahead and did that. I got some Quickcrete. Let's call it Quick Set. And that was about $9.32. Now down here, what I can do is since I came up with my number for that change order, so doing some grinding and patching, a little extra material, I charged 140 as a lump sum. So I'll take 140 in my labor column. My labor markup is 50%. So I'll want to reduce that by 50%. That would be 70. Oops. So I'll call it change order, grind and patch, concrete, and includes material. Spelled material wrong. IAL. And instead of putting an hour quantity here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put $70 there. All right, and then that bumps, so it takes that 70 here, it adds the 50% markup here, and then bumps my total job cost up there. All right, so you could split it out into material and put the material down here and kind of reverse engineer that number, but for a little number like that, I'm not going to do it. Okay, that is about it for that, and now I can do my time. All right. So purchase and deliver door. That took me about 1 hour. So I'll just say, 3 o'clock p.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. Let's see, estimating. I'm going to say that took me the half hour. So let's say that I did that from 10 o'clock a.m. to 10:30 a.m. All right, and then we do the actual job for 6/21. So one of the reasons I really like estimating and then comparing is I get to see how wrong I am. But the good thing about that is it's a reality check for how long things actually take. And I get it wrong all the time, but I never feel bad about it because my pricing is such that even if I work longer than I estimate, I'm still going to make decent money. So let's see, I'm just going to say we did demo. We did the work for the change order. We had to install the door. I'm going to put lump painting in there. Install door and paint. And we'll do the dump run. All right. So for 6, the demo took from 9:20 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. So right there, I've got a bit over an hour in demo. Down here, I figured I could do it in 1/2 of an hour. That was not the case. It was a careful demolition where I had to go find every nail and pull it out, and just carefully remove the trim so it could be reinstalled later. Carefully cut I might have a picture of it here. Yep. Carefully cut the caulk and sealant between the old brick mold and the siding. This is that pressboard siding. It's very fragile. I started with just a razor blade cut down here and started to push on it, and it just wasn't going to be enough. So had to break out the oscillating tool and give a nice full cut through all the caulking all the way around so that I didn't damage any of the siding. So just careful demolition, and it just took a while. Let's see. And then the change order work. That was 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And that was that concrete grinding and patching on the bottom. That's having to go out, go back and get my, my grinder, go to Home Depot, get the concrete patch, come back, do the work, and then install the door and paint. 12:30 p.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. 4.5 hours. So down here, let's see what I had here. I had 1.5 hours to install, 0.5 to reinstall the old trim, 0.75 to paint the door, half an hour to install a lock set, and half an hour to modify the rough opening, and setup, cleanup, and takedown. I'll go ahead and add that in there as well. So I had estimated about 4.25 hours to do all of that, and it took me 4.5 hours. So I was really close there. Where I feel like I really kind of went wrong here was on painting the door. Painting the door took almost I want to say it took like an hour and a half. So I had about half the time here. But this is good to know because I can always come back and say, how long did it really take to paint the door? Like I can say like actual about 1.5 hours. And so I can always come back and reference that if I need to. And let's see, dump run is a half hour. That's 5 o'clock to 5:30. And dump fee is about $18. So now I've got a pretty good picture of my actual cost here. In other words, what did it kind of really cost me versus what I actually charged for. And what I actually charged for was $14.43. And my actual input into the job was about $16.57. So up here I did not bill the $16.57, so I'll want to change this to equal. We can just hit equals. The amount we actually billed the customer was here. All right, and then okay. Sorry, I just had to remember what that formula was for. So we billed $14.43, spent $414 on materials, worked 9.67 hours, and the adjusted hourly rate was 106.37 with a profit margin of 17.66%. So I always like to shoot for that 33% profit margin. That's like my my goal, and when I hit it, I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. 33% profit margin. It doesn't happen on every job, especially on quoted jobs if you're not just working by strict time and material. If you're working to strict time and material, it's, I can get that 33% every time. For example, we'll just change this to this job cost here. Oh, yeah, because this isn't 50%. So if that was 50%, there you'd be 33.33. That's like the upper end of the spectrum. But in this case, generating $106 per hour for labor isn't bad. Now, that's not what you take home, of course. That's the input revenue into your business, into your company. And then you have your expenses. You have your, your rent and utilities if you have those. You have your vehicle costs. You have your tool costs. You have your insurance. You've got, your accountant and your bookkeeper. Like, that's all overhead, and that all comes out of this number. But just spitballing it off your head, you could probably take home, somewhere between $60 and $80 an hour on that job. And you want to shoot for that kind of, income, like personal income, as much as possible, because that's what makes this worth doing. Remember, you've also got to run a business, you've got to advertise, you've got to manage the entire operation. If you have employees, well, that's a whole nother job on top of it. So you definitely need these numbers to be higher than, $20, $30, $40 an hour. So I hope that was interesting. Oh, let me show you the finished pictures. Well, that's not a finished picture, that's an intermediate picture. All right, there's a finished one. She's a bit dark, but trims back up and painted, doors installed, and then from the outside, and there she is. See the little bit of grind and patch down there at the bottom. This is fresh paint, so it looks a little bright right here, but nicely caulked and repainted, door painted, installed. So customer is very happy with it. I was too. It was a nice little job. Hard work, decent pay, good little job. Hope that helped. Bye-bye.